Hello, just doing a little video post pre-release after my first pre-rift event for this new set, Unleashed. Had a lot of fun and really just enjoyed my time. Had some good games. In fact, I won 2 out of my 3 games, and the one that I lost, it was going to be a tie, and it was going to be pretty close, but we got to turns. Actually, if we didn't go to time, I would have been able to win that last game, I believe, because we were just on top decks and I ended up doing a double conquer. But we didn't have enough. Neither of us were 2 over the other opponent to squeak out the win on turns. So we just decided to do a coin flip or a high roll to see who would win that pack, and I lost that one. It's a nice chance, but we got 2 sweet packs here, and I just wanted to do a little post-mortem on how the pre-rift went. So, of course, I got my Ash pre-release card that we couldn't play in our decks. I ended up getting the seeded Kha'Zix deck, which was kind of cool. And I think I used most of what was in there. I'm just going to give you a little run through of the deck that I built. These are all, I'm going to go in like color order. I ended up playing 3 colors, 3 domains, of course, orange and purple, and then I threw in blue, and you'll see why with one of the rares that I pulled that just kind of prompted me to go blue. Repulse. Didn't really get much use out of this, but it was good to have just in case. Grim Resolve was pretty good. I just wanted to have a combat trick available in my deck to be able to squeak out a little bit more might and keep getting the XP to utilize for Kha'Zix's effect to buff units, and I mostly just buffed units. This moving is pretty good, but I just noticed I ended up having just being replete with XP and found myself just buffing whatever I could on each of my turns. So Grim Resolve, I try to be pretty low to the ground except for certain things. So I played 2 of these guys. I pulled one in my pool, and one was in the seeded deck just to get a body on the ground at a battlefield, just on the board, and to kind of mitigate people which wanted to just push in and roll over me. Call to Battle was a really sweet card. It seemed at first like a orange charm, but they get to choose what they move to that battlefield after you choose the unit that you move to a battlefield you control. So you already need to have something there. And then you move something else there, and then they get to choose whatever they want. It's really good if they only have 1 unit on the board, because then you're basically charming it because they have no other choice but to send in that one that they have at base or wherever it is. That was pretty sweet. This got me some good tempo swings. Crowd favorite, just a good 3-drop, and it helps you amass that XP. You could even buff him, but I would rather use the Kha'Zix Legend to do that buff. This card's just broken and limited, in my opinion, because it's pretty easy to get to 5 combined might or more, and then you just play this as a 3-for-3 that draws you a card. I got 2 of these Hunter's Machetes, just good to stack on something to make sure to deter people from taking over a battlefield, and it helps gain more XP with this hunt effect. And then Concentrate. I actually have 2 in my pool. We'll look through my pool here, but I just had a feeling that if I had 2 of these early game in my hand, I was just going to be really upset. So I ended up just playing 1. And it's a pretty sweet card, getting that draw power, getting that card advantage. And with certain things that people do, like the purple 3-drop, 3 might units, where they can spend 2 XP. Like, they get to look at your hand and they get to spend 2 XP to discard something. This is kind of a target for that as well, similar to the Kinku Initiate. This was chosen in one of my games as well. But the cool thing is, even if they make you discard it, that card affects as you draw after you discard. So at least, even if this is discarded, I still get to get half the effect. Scryer's Bloom, just in case I had like odd energy tapped. If I could just kind of if I had 1 up, this was pretty sweet to just kind of seal the deal and play out my energy resources. And you get to basically look at the top 2 of your deck and then draw 1 and gain an XP after sacrificing this. It enters exhausted though. So now we're in my purple. Isolate. I didn't end up finding a good spot to play this, but It seemed like a really good card to go with the Kha'Zix champion, which we'll see in a little bit. I didn't play him in the champion zone because I didn't like having that just like very obvious to them because it has the ambush effect that we'll talk about in a little bit. But it helps kind of stage it for Kha'Zix if needed. Mr. Root. This card is sweet. I found myself getting a lot of XP with him. It's not every time he moves, but every time he moves to a battlefield, you gain 2 XP. This is the kind of card that I might utilize the spending of 2 XP to move an exhausted friendly units from a battlefield to its base, just to get him out of danger, and then prepare for him to move up again. This also worked pretty well in one of my games with a call to battle. Like I had 2 Mr. Roots on the board, and I moved them to a battlefield. I buffed one, and then I moved, so then I gained 4 XP from that move by moving 2 of them, and then I moved this Mr. Root to the other battlefield I controlled, and then moved in one of their units, so I gained 6 total XP from Mr. Root effects in one turn, which was awesome. And as you can see, I got a playset of Mr. Root. So I was never starving for 2 drops. I kind of stayed low to the ground for most of my deck. This card was pretty sweet. Like if I played Call to Battle or if I did any of my other spells in a turn, just being able to play this as a ready 4 might units by paying 4 energy and 1 purple power was pretty sweet. I didn't end up needing Crescent Strike, but I just wanted to be able to kind of zap a battlefield if needed, if that ever came up. So I put that in the deck. Gustwalker. This is pretty awesome because it's just like cranking out XP, and if you're going second and you have this in your opening hand, you're sitting pretty. All right, boom. I'll just throw it on the purple stuff. Fate Weaver. I didn't really end up utilizing this too much, and like I played it once, but there's only 1 card in my deck that's 5 costs, or that's 4 costs or more. But if I'm looking for that concentrate, this would be pretty good. And it's a 4 for 5, which is not bad. Dramatic Visionary, just a good body to have on the field. 4 for 4. I basically just played it as that. I didn't end up needing the predict or using the predict effects because I ended up just like buffing it and putting a Hunter's Machete on it as well. So it got pretty beefy, but it's just a good body for the cost. Spectral Centaur. Didn't even play this guy. Honestly, he could have been cut, but I just wanted something high cost. Now we're going to get to our rares. So Kha'Zix came in the seeded deck. I didn't play him in my champion zone. I just wanted to have that kind of secrecy involved to not really telegraph whether or not he was coming. But to be honest, it's pretty hard to do because if you're holding up 4 and you have purple on your rune stack or in your rune pool, and you're playing something like Kha'Zix, it's pretty obvious that you have Kha'Zix around. But his effect's pretty good, especially if you end up playing that isolate that I showed you earlier to like put him into a battlefield where something is alone. It's pretty great because he gains 2 might and you gain 2 XP. Yeah, like even if you lose. So when you attack or defend, if an enemy unit is alone here, give me +2 might this turn and gain 2 XP. So it's pretty strong swing. This card, I thought this card was really awesome. Nidalee has a Draven effect on it. When I win a combat, draw 1. I win if I remain after combat. And so it's pretty nice just like either using it as an ambush or just throwing it down on 3 runes. Like if I'm going second or something, then you kind of do something that gives you a little XP, throw a buff on her, stack her with the machete, anything like that. And then you're just drawing cards, and then this becomes a big target that they want to kill. Bone Skewer. I threw it in here. I didn't end up playing it, but it has a pretty awesome effect. A good hidden card where you end up kind of looking at their hand and pulling something to the battlefield. I just didn't really see myself needing to use it, and I didn't draw it at the right times to really throw it on or throw it down as a hidden card. But Bone Skewer is pretty sweet. And then this is why I went into blue. Sprite Queen. When you play me, or at the start of your beginning phase, play a ready 3 might sprite unit token with temporary to your base. This just helped me keep people out of holds and do a whole bunch of stuff. Like when I dropped this, I gained value every time. I felt like this was huge. This gave me really big might swings, helped me stage things correctly. It helped me even like when I'm not ready to go into a battlefield that has a whole bunch of stuff stacked on it, I'll just send the Sprite in and take something out. I really, really enjoyed Sprite Queen. Now we'll look at my pool. Oh yeah, and also I played a blank battlefield. I'll show you the battlefields I got. And this is the one that comes with the Kha'Zix deck. When a unit here is returned to a player's hand, that player may pay 1 to channel 1 rune exhausted. I don't know why this is in the Kha'Zix deck. Kha'Zix isn't doing any bouncing stuff like that, off like just normally, and there's no effect like that in the seeded deck. So I just played this as a blank battlefield. I had Altar of Blood. If a unit here would die during combat, its controller may pay 3 power to heal it, exhaust it, and recall it instead. Didn't really want to be dumping power like that. Trapping Grounds. If you deal 3 or more excess, you play a bird unit token with deflect. Volts of Helia. When you hold here, your non-token units cost 1 more to play this turn. I don't see why I would want to play this. I don't know why I would want to play this. Forgotten Library. This is like the Jin effect. If you spend 4 or more, predict when you control this battlefield when you play a spell that costs 4 or more. That would only matter with my Concentrate. At the start of each player's beginning phase, deal 1 to each unit here from Frozen Fortress. Didn't see any use for that because I would kill my Mr. Roots. And then this one where you can sack something at your beginning phase to draw 1. Didn't really want to use that either. So I just played a blank battlefield. All right. I basically used all the orange cards I had other than the extra Grim Resolve because I already was stacked with a lot of 2-drops and the extra Concentrate. I just felt like if I drew both of them early, I'd be really upset. Didn't play any green, but I got some good green stuff. We'll even look at the rares in a little bit. Did not feel like I needed this 5 for 5. Even though he's 5 for 5, I just didn't want to count on my stuff dying. Here's the thing where you can look at somebody's hand and pay 2 XP to make them discard something. This is really good. I was not going to play it, though. I think this is in the seeded deck. Maybe. I just did not see myself bouncing my stuff like that. The extra Scryer's Bloom. A Walking Roost. Yeah, I did not like, even though it's 6 for 5, you give them a bird. This one's more card advantage, or like card selection because you discard 1. Add 3 Scryers. I had a playset of Scryer's Bloom. Here's my red stuff. Didn't see anything in red that really made me want to play it. I thought about playing this guy, but I did not want to count on him dying to like zap something. This is just far too expensive to want to play it. I felt like I had enough draw. Maybe I didn't, honestly. Maybe the downstairs Dramatics would have been a good idea, but I wasn't going to tap 4 to draw 2. Turn to Dust. Didn't seem good in limited. Here's my yellow stuff. Here's, oh yeah. Okay, cool. That's just back to the beginning. All right, so here are my rares. I got some extra Legends. LeBlanc. Didn't seem like that would get much use in my pool. Vex. Atacon. Shard of Undoing. Rengar. That's pretty sweet. I got the Pike Epic, which is awesome. I'm thinking about playing Pike this set. Scuttle Crab. This made me kind of want to play green, as well as Trixie Tentacles, but I felt like the Sprite Queen was just way better. And then I got an Overnumber, guys. Overnumber Poppy Legend in my pool. This was really sick to see. And now we can take a look. I mainly wanted to record this as well to open my 2 prize packs. So let's see what we got. I'm going to a couple more events. I'm kind of stacked on events for this pre-rift season. I'm going to be going to 4 more. So I'll be sure to kind of update you guys on that. Okay, foil common. Grim Apothecary. That's kind of sweet. When you play me, you may return a friendly unit at a battlefield to its owner's hand. That'll go good in a pike deck. And Heedless Resurrection. As an additional cost to play this, kill a friendly unit. Play a unit from your trash that costs no more energy and no more power than the killed unit, ignoring its costs. Let's just throw those here. Oh, and a little Sprite. Okay, we get one more pack. Sorry, I'm kind of disorganized here. Icefield Archer, Prepared Neophyte. Is that what it is? Neophyte. Herald of Spring. Moonlight Affliction. Lunar Boon. Ultrasoft Poro. Gemhand Hunter. Crescent Strike. Repulse. Frozen Fortress. Okay, we got a foil. Our first foil is a rare, and it's a Nami. So that means we have an epic in here. Nami Headstrong. You may pay one green power as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you pay the additional cost, stun an enemy unit. It doesn't deal combat damage this turn. When I hold, the next time you play a unit this turn, ready it and buff it. That's pretty sweet. Galio. Indefatigable. Indefatigable. Because he can't be fatigued, I guess. 3 energy, 1 power for 6 might with deflect. Opponents must, the deflect costs. And then he has tank. He must be assigned combat damage first, and he doesn't deal combat damage. Whoa. Alpha Wildclaw. 6 and 2 green power for a 7 might tank. Your units here that with less might than me can't be chosen by enemy spells and abilities. That's pretty sweet. Well, that's the pulls, and that's the deck overview for what I played today at Pre-Rift. Really appreciate you watching this. I've been Baps, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, okay? Take care.